BluMetric Environmental Inc. is Canada's premier water solution and environmental consulting company. BluMetric provides a full range of environmental consulting services supported by bespoke engineering solutions for emergency, self-contained, and permanent water systems, and is always mission ready with a full range of in-house support to ensure your mission is a success.
Welcome to the Over the Horizon podcast here at Mass 2023. I'm Alan Dale. With me, as always, my good buddy Jerry Carew. We are Gale Force Winds, and this conversation is brought to you by BluMetric. Armin, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
I'm Armin Strobel. I'm the founder and CEO of a startup called StrobelTEK. Startup, I don't know if it's still called a startup. We're building a special kind of drone system which is based on a ducted fan. The clue on the whole thing is that actually the drone takes off from the docking station, does its job, whatever it needs to do. There's different applications. And when it's done with its job, it comes automatically back in the docking station and recharges itself and is ready to deploy it again as soon as the battery is full again. So it's completely, as long as you have power and some communication, you can sit basically anywhere in the world, let's say in Starbucks, somewhere, and can control on the other end of the world a drone actually. Can be obviously fully autonomous too, to some extent, depending on what the regulations allow and all that stuff, but you can also control it remotely, remote operations.
So you put its profile that it's to fly in, and away it goes, returns to its station, charges, and off again. Can it jump from station to station? Can it share stations?
Absolutely, it can do that. It can jump from station to station. It can be also mounted on any kind of vehicle, also Navy ships, Coast Guard ships, and stuff like this. The clue is there's out there is a drone system which have docking stations, but they're usually quite big actually compared to the drone itself. Our drone is 1.5 kilograms roughly, and the docking station has basically a footprint of 34 centimeters, just a bit more than a foot, square foot. And that makes it really extremely compact. So we're the most compact system out there with a docking station.
Ideal kind of use for this drone, what would that look like?
Everywhere where mobile applications actually mostly, I would say. Yes, we can do the stationary thing too, but it makes sense sometimes to use it. But there's other systems which do probably a similar good job, but where we have really the competitive advantage is really any kind of applications where premium is at the space. Space is at a premium.
Space at a premium, yeah. So like on a ship?
On a ship, on the back of an armored vehicle, everywhere where you need especially when you don't, an armored vehicle is a really good example. You don't want to leave that vehicle because it's for a reason armored.
Yes.
So to deploy and get some intelligence, you would need to leave the secure armored vehicle and deploy your own drone, or you would rely on other drones. Now the problem is always not having always a global hawk looking after one armored vehicle. So you sometimes need to really do your own surveillance, or you just need to risk it actually. And that's why we want to avoid it, that they have to risk it and just get the drone out by a press of the button. You don't need much managing it. The whole idea is actually that you press a button. You don't have to have an operator in the vehicle. The drone then surveys automatically a rear in front of them, and thus provide a situational awareness map. So it detects automatically those objects and puts them in a map. So you can actually look at the video stream, but you don't have to look at the video stream. You get then afterwards a map which marks those objects of interest in that map, and you can actually then decide what you're going to do. So you don't have to babysit the drone like it's commonly done right now. It is more like colleagues say, investigate in front of us, and then you get back that situational awareness map. We integrate into ATEK now, which is very commonly used. We have our own situation awareness map, but since ATEK is a very commonly used system now, we integrate in that too.
Payload, is there a restriction on what kind of payload can go on?
So the small version what we have right now is around, has a weight of 1.5 kilograms roughly, depending on which version it is. but the payload is around 500 grams. But so the top part can be exchanged for different payloads, but we integrate that all ourselves. So it's not that the customer says, okay, we put our own payload on it. We usually actually integrate that for ourselves.
Right. And the time on station varies, I guess, given the different types of drones that you're using?
Yes, the one which we have at the moment at the TRL 7 level plus is the one which is in a hover mode. So we have around 15 minutes flight time, and we can dock actually up to 50 kilometers per hour in the wind gusty winds.
50 kilometers, wow, that's quite a wind.
That's quite, yeah. With that setup, what we have with that funnel, we have actually quite some margin regarding wind. And with the bigger version, actually with another version which can fold out wings and stuff like this, we expect that's not at TRL 7 yet, so we're not pushing it that much, but we can do 45 minutes. And we're thinking on for Navy ships a bigger version which has also the folding wing capabilities and a fuel cell actually to propel it, and that will be 5 hours plus.
Wow. Armin, you mentioned earlier that you're part of Innovation Solutions Canada, entering into a test stream with them. Very exciting time for you as you move forward to that. And of course, the next step to that being that pathway to commercialization, putting you on sort of a standing offer with the federal government so that all government agencies can get access to your technology. I'm assuming that departments like the RCMP, Coast Guard, Navy are focal points for you.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, especially Coast Guard and Navy is a really big interest, but also Army in general, so what I was just mentioning with the armored vehicles on the back. Also civilian, more less military thing are more interested. So Transport Canada is, for example, also our interest.
And where can people learn more about the tech?
Yeah, www.StrobelTEK with a K on the end, .com, or just Google my name, you will find it all over.
You'll find you everywhere. That's right.
But Twitter we are too, and LinkedIn we are too. We are not on Facebook.
Yeah, you're no stranger to coming to the MAS conference or indeed traveling in the aerospace and defense circles. What do you think of MAS so far?
MAS is always a great event because it's right where we actually located in St. John's, Newfoundland, so it's less logistic effort because always traveling with our docking station, all that stuff. This time we're not exhibiting, but in the past we did exhibit, and there was always lots of effort behind it. But it's a really relative small conference, but it's actually the interesting part for us. So we're really excited, and this time we also talking about less about the drone itself, more about the algorithmic behind it, the AI behind it and stuff like this, which we haven't pitched in the past so much. And I think it's the right time actually to do it because originally the whole company started from that part of it.
Okay.
So it's back then when I did actually my doctorate thesis, that was actually is my topic, swarming and the AI of controlling the drones. And when I talked with a lot of people, always it was just the time wasn't right for most of the people. Now it's almost over, right? Actually.
Yeah. There you go. Well, Armin, it's always a pleasure to be in conversation with you, and you've got a great product. I've seen it in action. I've seen what it is that it can do. I've seen the applications for it. There's no doubt you're on the cusp of doing wonderful things right here in St. John's, Newfoundland. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
BluMetric wants to partner and work with Atlantic Canadian industries and organizations who are concerned about the water health of our planet and the people who inhabit it in an environmentally and culturally sensitive manner. BluMetric wants to join the growing number of like-minded, innovative Atlantic Canadian companies who are changing the environmental landscape for the globe in a world-class way.